Uh, Hello, Assalamu alaikum and namaste everyone. My name is Dr. Dilip Kumar and I am President CMT Center of Mental Therapy. As you all know that the CMT today is the international webinar from the CMT platform Center of Mental Therapy, and the topic is myokinetic chain, which is a new concept, a new trend in physical therapy. So let's all the participants come, then we will start our webinar. We can wait for all the participants to come. There is also an internet interruption. Kindly all the participants are requested to like the video together and write your full name for the certification in the comment box and let me know that my voice is clear to all of you or not. Now I'm going to introduce Dr. Nida Akbar Rajput. She is the vice president CMT, and Dr. Neha, she is the ambassador from the Jacobabad from the CMT platform. Now I'm going to introduce both of them. Okay, Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Nida and Dr. Neha.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. Assalamu alaikum to all
Welcome.
participants. Here is me, Dr. Nidaj Bhai Rajput. I'm a vice president of Center of Manual Therapy. आप सबका warm
Okay, Dr. Nida, जो
सेंटर मैनुअल थेरेपी एक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म है जो कि आपको फ्री वेबिनार्स प्रोवाइड करता है आपको उसके साथ साथ सर्टिफिकेशंस इसके अलावा कुछ कोर्सेज इंटरनेशनल नेशनल दोनों वेबिनार्स हम बिल्कुल फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट करते हैं जस्ट फॉर द सेक ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स तो हमें फिजियोथेरेपी को प्रमोट करना है वी टीम ऑफ यंगस्टर हमें अब शो करना है अपनी स्ट्रेंथ हमें फिजियोथेरेपी को प्रमोट करना है वी आर मेडिकल प्रैक्टिशनर वी कैन प्रैक्टिस इंडिपेंडेंटली सो इस हमारी टीम ने हमें ज्वाइन किया है हमारे कुछ सिटीज़ और उनके एम्बेसडर्स ने हमने अपनी सिटीज़ के बेस्ट एवर लोगों को चुना है अपनी टीम में सो हेयर इज डॉक्टर नेहा छोड़ा
डॉक्टर नेहा आपकी थोड़ी वॉइस स्लो आ रही है माइक थोड़ा सा वॉइस आपकी स्लो है थोड़ी जी नाउ इंट्रोड्यूस योरसेल्फ
I think there is an internet interruption.
Not internet, but there's I think voice issue. Well, she's the Dr. Neha, and she's CMT Jacobabad chapter ambassador. She's ambassador from the Jacobabad CMT chapter. Well, thank you. The all webinar was organizing and sharing by the Dr. Neha. Now I am going to call our worthy speaker. Now I am going to call our worthy speaker. Doctor, let me introduce him first. Professor Dr. Manish Arora, and he is doctorate in osteopath. He is founder at STEAM Rehab, Dean SBS University, Balawala College, medical director at Orthocare chain of clinical. Sir has several years of clinical experience and working in different fields like the osteopath, different domains of physiotherapy. Dr. Manish Arora and Dr. Aparna, they both have introduced a new concept in physical therapy, which is myokinetic chain and its application in cervicogenic headache. There are multiple applications. We are not going into the detail because sir is expert. Now I'm going to call Dr. Manish Arora. So please welcome Dr. Manish Arora is here.
Thank you, Dr.
Hello, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Neha, Dr. Nida. It's wonderful to be among you all. And I say my very warm greetings to all the participants.
Thank you so much for joining, sir. I have just given a little introduction regarding the myokinetic chain. Now it's all over to you because you are the expert in that in this topic. So let's start this webinar, sir, and it's over to you. Now I'm getting off screen. Now it's up to you, sir.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to talk about brief insight to myokinetics. As already introduced, I am Dean at SPS University and Medical Director STEM Orthopedic Clinics. I have been trying to learn and keep myself updated from the best in the world. And I see myself more of a postman who gets information from the developed world to this world, because we wanted to change things in the Asian zone where we were still not getting the latest updates from the world. So that's is the whole effort. And we've been trying to work and enhance our domains to make ourselves better practitioners. So that's the whole effort. And this is Myokinetics. This was introduced by me in 2015 at the World Congress of Physiotherapy, Singapore. We accidentally discovered certain new methods of evaluation and testing. And then once we discovered that we wanted to make it as a scientific document, we did a lot of research for 3 years, where we used EMG to validate our research. And then finally, at 2015 Singapore, we made it public. And this is a concept which we have taught about more than 1,000 physical therapists, and they say their practice has definitely changed after learning these concepts. Every tool adds to your ability to work. There's no doubt about that. And not every tool is fit for doing everything. Concept behind Myokinetics, we definitely use a very different kind of assessment test to do Myokinetics, which is the key or the center of our methodology of working. We call it as myofascial slide test. It has been patented. And this test is very reliable. As I told you, we used EMG to verify its reliability and validity. Once we find in very quick time, I take about 2 minutes to scan the entire human body, which muscles could be overactive, which muscles could be inactive, which muscles are overfiring, which muscles are in spasm, where there's an injury. So once we have found that, we use techniques from osteopathic chiropractics, applied kinesiology, acupuncture, muscle testing, dry needling, and kinestaping to treat that. So Myokinetics has its own unique test, but then the treatment depends upon various other techniques. Why we needed this? This was what yesterday was. More trauma, more stress on our joints. Today, we feel more secure. The shock absorbers in our vehicles have improved. The roads have improved. Not only that, we don't do those things where we get more injuries, but we do these things. We get into these abnormal postures, whether we are short of space or we are lacking effort. In both the conditions, we get this postural imbalance leading to a muscular imbalance. So if a muscle becomes tight, it can do two things. It can either pull the bone along with it out of its position, which leads to misalignments where we have to fix the bone by using chiropractic techniques or mulligan or whatever method you're known to. Or in long term, if your core stability is good and the bone doesn't want to move, this leads to formation of osteophytes, where osteoarthritis, spondylosis, and other problems similar to that keep on growing. So this is the result, if you could see. The rectus capitis inferior oblique being tight, pulling the atlas out of alignment, or a bone growing because the periosteum is pulled because of the tight muscle. So there are two ways in the world where we can treat people. One is symptomatic cure. People keep on taking anti-diabetic pills throughout their life, but they are never cured. They have to be dependent on insulin or other such things throughout their life. That's a symptomatic cure. Many people with pains keep on taking pills or modalities like TENS, and they're never totally free from things. But other way is a better way, not to treat the symptoms, but to treat the cause. And that is what we all want to do that. We want to make the person healthier and happier. If you see Robin McKenzie's work, and this has been published from a journal, which says if somebody comes with back pain or neck pain, it's a self-limiting disorder. Most of the back pains would get better even if not treated in 44% of the patients in 1 week and in 86% with 1 month. Then why do we need to treat those people if they're self-limiting? So this is when initial stress came, a myofascial system got misbalanced, the patient came with dysfunction and problem, severe pain. You did not treat him or you treat him, his symptoms became better. But if you treat him, especially if you restore the myofascial elasticity in such people, their pain is not likely to come back that bigger, and it is not only that, but they'll stay more healthier with time. That is a published literature that we have. Another thing, there are many sources of similar problem. It's not just if the light is not functioning, the bulb is always at fault. It may be the switch or it may be the wires. Similarly, Dr. Aparna is going to talk about headaches, and I'm not going to step into her domain, but I intentionally pitched up this picture here. You can have headache from multiple muscles. I'm only at the muscles at the moment. So we're going to talk about tension, headaches, and other things later to you. But you could see a similar kind of problem is coming from multiple sources. So, like the electrician would require with a tester to find out whether it's the bulb at fault or it's the switchboard or the wire, you need a testing device to find out which is the exact source of this problem. As you see in this image, rectus capitis posterior muscle and all the short occipital muscles give you this kind of headache, but all of them. We not only need to differentiate between other muscles, but we also need to differentiate between these suboccipital muscles which are bringing the problem. It may be coming from an inferior oblique or a posterior major or posterior minor. So that is where myocatics can be very useful in precisely, and that too within seconds. I see about 40 to 50 patients in 3 hours. So that is only possible if my diagnosis is perfect and very quick. So these two things would be very essential to let me understand the thing. So that we can do very quickly with the myocardic neurofacial slide mechanisms. So we're able to not only distinguish the muscle, but we are able to find the fault it brings. Like this is for the minor and the superior oblique. They bring this kind of fault. This is what is being brought by the rectus capitis posterior major. And then the atlas being malpositioned by rectus capitis inferior oblique. So that preciseness we need to do. Not only to find what exact structure is bringing that fault, but many times when there's a trigger in one muscle, like coronavirus, it can spread to other muscles. It is very infective. We call them satellite or associated triggers. Like these suboccipital muscles can activate subspinous muscle, longus capitis, rectus capitis interior muscles, these are the posterior ones, splenus capitis on the opposite side, sternocleidomastoid, and then the symptoms can get bamboozled. They can increase, like the, as I said, an example of coronavirus, they can spread. So now you do not know which muscle is the primary thing and which is the secondary thing, but you need to treat them all. So that expertise can only come if you know very quick and very easy assessment methods. Not only it spreads, But many times the problem is coming from the opposite side rather from the same side. We call this as the bowstring effect. You get the problem on the top, but the problem lies at the bottom because the side on one side which is becoming tight results in a dysfunction of stretching on the opposite side, as you can see. This is a normal healthy structure. One side becomes tight, the becomes more tight, and you get an injury on the opposite side because of the stretching. So the treatment doesn't lie in just improving this one by something like class 4 laser or something which improves it, but permanently curing by removing the tightness on the side of fault. I've given you an example here. In a forward head posture, it may be the sternocleidomastoid which is tight and keeping the head forward along with your the anterior sclerae muscles. So these two muscles, sclerae and SCM, can make the head stay forward. But what will happen? To prevent the head from going forward, the posterior muscles out here, the trapezius and the levator scapulae, now may go into tightness and you will get spasm there. So if you get spasm there and you relieve the trapezius spasm, it will not be fully worked unless you treat the SCM. You relieve the tension in the SCM. So that is what you need to find out very quickly. Going further on this discussion, our body doesn't work as seen in the image here. It doesn't work independently of each other. It is integrated. It is governed by an envelope called fascia, and this fascia has chains and structures which work together. A pain in the neck, in the trapezius or other muscles may come because there's a tight structure below that. So we need to find out where the primary source is coming. It may be coming from increased lordosis in your lumbar spine because anything below at the base can change upwards. Or it may be coming from the foot, or it may be the other way around. So this is where we need to assess and find what is the primary source or the root source of the problem. Another example I want to add up. A trapezius overactivity can come because of latissimus dorsi, biceps, subscapularis, contralateral upper trapezius, and SCM. It can come from eye dysfunction, dehydration, and if the lever is pulled down, which is called as levortosis, because the ligaments that hold the lever, the coronary ligament, the superior left and right triangular ligaments, if they are lax, the lever may go down, pulling the rib cage down and creating a traction on the trapezius, which may be going into dysfunction. So these are various reasons why you can get a dysfunction from various sources. So you need to learn a method which is very quick and very easy to tell you, okay, this is the muscle which is primarily responsible, or this is a structure which is responsible, and that is where myokinetics can help you. In myokinetics, the difference between the treatment that we give, which is a myofascial release and a myokinetic release, is again more, what we'll say, more holistic and more functional. If you see, there are various layers of fascia. When I was in my college, I learned there are only two layers of fascia, superficial layer and a deep layer. But this deep layer of fascia has many layers, and they are separated from each other, and they glide and slide over each other, with hyaluronic acid acting as a lubricant. When you age, this hyaluronic acid becomes thicker, it gets dried up, and you start losing the function. It can also come by postural stresses, which can lead to adhesions. It can also cause by injury, and the movement is lost. The two most important layers which we need to understand are the aponeurotic fascia and the epimesial fascia. They slide over each other like this. If you have to take your arm up, the aponeurotic fascia of your arm flexors has to slide upon the epimesial layer of your arm flexor so that the movement is possible. And this is only possible if the tissue is loose, it has no adhesions. Hyaluronic acid is good. But then adhesions and thickening of the hyaluronic acid can stop that. So we use a functional movement and we soften these adhesions, we break these adhesions by making the patient do those movements when we apply a push on the aponeurotic fascia in comparison to epimesial fascia. And that is what is myokinetics all about. So that makes our job very easy. We use functional movements and make the patient do those movements. He gets the confidence. If you have done Mulligan, see what is the difference between Mulligan and Maitland? Mulligan, you do a functional treatment. Maitland, you do a resting treatment. So Mulligan, it gives you a more instantaneous results. So that is what in myokinetics we use this to improve that. So rest, how to apply and how to find different kinds of headaches and things, I leave to Dr. Aparna, who will teach you in all details about different types of headaches, right? So that was a little thing from me. Anything you want to ask me, you can WhatsApp me.
Sir, thank you so much for such a wonderful and informative webinar. So there is a single question that I would like to ask from a participant.
Please.
Sir, how could we identify the liver ptosis in the trapezius, as you said, causing the trapezius tightness?
Right. So we do a lever lifting technique. When the lever has gone down, we place our ulnar side of the fingers of both the hands. We palpate the lever and push it. And once we push it, we try to see if the length of the trapezius muscle changes. If I take my head into the rotation, opposite side flexion and flexion, keeping the shoulder down, my trapezius gets stretched. So after doing the lever lift, if that improves, I will know it has changed. That is a more traditional way. In myokinetics, we do the slide test and we find it even more simply with that. But for that, I would need you to teach first those assessment methods in myokinetics, which we can do once the lockdown is over. We can have less restrictions. We can definitely do in contact program.
Yeah, definitely. I was also about to announce that we are going to do it practical in Pakistan, but right after that lockdown be over. So this was just an introductory regarding this myokinetic course, and literally it's a new concept, a new trend in case of physiotherapy. It comes in the domains of physiotherapy. So sir, thank you so much. I hope all the questions are answered. That's why the nobody is asking. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure for a Center of Melon Therapy to be working with you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It was a great honor. Thank you, Dr. Aparna. Thank you, Dr. Dilip. Thank you, Dr. Neha and Dr. Nida. It was wonderful to be among you all.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir. From Acne Clinic, we also want to say many thanks, and from Indian students who are watching you, and from all the people from other different countries are watching you. Many thanks from their side. Thanks for your removing such a precious time on this day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. All the best. God bless.
Thank you for ma'am for joining, and thank you so much, Dr. Manish Arora. Now, as you can see on the screen, here is Dr. Aparna Pradhan, and she is director at ACME Physiotherapy Clinic. She is MPT in Neuro. She is fellowship in Sports Medicine, fellowship in Osteopath, Clinical Dry Needler and Cupping Therapist. And second speaker from this platform, and she will tell us furthermore regarding the myokinetic change. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Since biokinetic is a part of Dr. Manish Arora sir, so I will be discussing only about types of headache and little management, because with the time of paucity of time, pathology of headaches, and discussing other things are uh, difficult. For I'm going to discuss type of headache, migraine, how it differs from the cervicogenic headache. I will be sticking on to cervicogenic headache and briefly discussing other types of headaches. So, we can understand in more depth. Sir has mentioned some muscles. I will be detailing them little more and try to differentiate as a clinical person how, when the patient comes to you, how you understand and identify that it is not migraine, it's not cluster headache, it's not other major disease, it's cervicogenic headache. So let's start with this. I have a academy named AHA, which is an educational academy where we do many workshops of chiropractic and physiotherapy. And yes, Dr. Manish Arora sir and Dr. Narkesh sir gives many lectures to us in Pune. Most probably, soon we are planning to arrange one lecture in Dubai. So initially, we have given a little introduction about myokinetic chain, and that will be practically demonstrated and done there. So let's come on to the topic for today. Mr. Dilip, can I have? I'm trying to share the PPT. हो गया. Can anybody see PPT there?
Sorry, ma'am, sorry to interrupt. Dr. Ashish is requesting for a guest link. Should I accept?
Please, please.
Okay, ma'am. We can see the presentation, and Dr. Ashish is also there.
Yes. Can you see the presentation now? I will be little briefing about myself. You know everything. So now let's go ahead. I'm Masters in Physiotherapy and Fellowship in Osteopathy under Dr. Manish sir, and from Australia, Dr. George Papas has taught us. I've been a consultant in Apollo Jahangir as a neurophysiotherapist, and since 10 years, I am practicing at my clinic. I have opened two more clinics, one in Vimanagar and one in Pimpri Saudagar. We are there on Instagram named with Acme Physiotherapy Clinic and also on Facebook. So join us there. Today I would now let's come to the point. I'm going to discuss about cervicogenic headache. This is a chronic type of headache, and it arises from atlanto-occipital joint. As sir mentioned a lot about this picture. See how muscles can create a difficult drama for a doctor who is treating it, and identifying it is very, very important. So let's go. First, we should know more about what are the type of headaches. First of all, if you know what all the headache, then you can come on to the cervicogenic headache specifically. So there are three type of headache on a broad term. Basic headache nomenclature, classification we are talking about. So primary headaches, secondary headache, and cranial neuralgias. So primary headache, when you have a headache which is a disease itself, that is called primary headache. In this, when you are having migraine and cluster headache and can you shut this? So the cluster headache and other type of headache, when the disease itself is major and it is causing the headache, then it's called primary headache. Like I'll give you the example. See, brain cannot experience the pain. So whenever there is a disturbance in any serotonin or any hormones, so it tries to change the its expression by doing little, creating inflammation in its vessels. So migraine is an example, whereas we have some hormone named serotonin. So what happens is whenever there is a decrease in serotonin, vasodilation occurs, and then patient having sensory system like visual impairment, pin and needle sensation, and the patient suddenly have a lot of headache. So we'll go in detail of migraine little later on, but this is the type of, this is itself is a disease which is triggered by something else. So we have to treat that causative symptom. Serotonin increasing is the treatment for that, is a treatment for the disease. So whereas in the secondary headache, there is a always we have a first primary illness, and because of that we are having headaches mostly. Just say like example, sinus type of headache. This is if you have sinusitis, so you have a disease sinusitis, and then because of that you are having headache. And concussion, if you are having any injury, after after the injury several days you have headache, that's a secondary headache. Infection, yes, in encephalitis is going on and the treatment is going on and the patient is intermittently having pain, that is again a secondary type of headache. Post concussion headache, obviously that healing is happened, still the patient is having intermittent pains, and in this category hamara and cervicogenic headache comes. What happens exactly there is you have upper cervical vertebrae which are misaligned, or there is a tension. So because of those vertebrae, there are which nerves which are passing, creating headache. So the disease is cervical spond, but we are seeing because of that we are getting a symptom of cervicogenic headache. So this is again become secondary to the main problem. So the third type of headaches are cranial neuralgia, any dysfunctioning in or inflammation of cranial nerve, 12 cranial nerve which are we are having. Because of that we can have headaches, and most common example everybody knows is trigeminal neuralgia. So because of the facial nerve irritation you may have pain and headache. Now let's come back to our cervicogenic headache. You can see the presentation here. The patient is having always unilateral pain on one side of head, but in some cases it can happen in both the sides also. If the severe weakness of both the sides of head muscles is happening, then this can also happen. Here the patient may also complain of pain in shoulder muscles and in arm muscles. So you have to identify if the patient is coming with shoulder, arm, you have to check for the test that I'll go in more in detail. Let's just go a little more detail in symptoms of it. So in this disease the range of motion is affected, and the patient is having little pain and in neck, and it traveling upwards to the head also. One side of face, shoulder, arm, same side of headache is mostly happening. And you can see the flexibility on the range of motion test which is also there. So it can go worsen with the coughing or sneezing. See, we are having we are now talking little about the structural anatomy. So what happens is we have initial two bones in the cervical spine. I would like to show you also on the skull. So we have skull here. The extramandibular course of trigeminal passes through here, but initial two bone on the cervical spine are these: atlas and axis. So these bones are of special structure, and atlas and axis. So this is our axis, this is our atlas. Can you see those structures? So nerves are passing through here. If any disturbance is happening here, it can irritate first three nerves. To define our cervical spine, we have divided cervical spine in two columns. This is upper cervical, which is from C1 to C3. from C3 to C7, this is lower spine. So whenever we are talking about cervicogenic headache, we are talking about upper 3 cervical nerves and 2 vertebrae. Those are C1 and C2. So this first vertebra is making a special joint with the atlanto-occipital joint with the skull. This is base of the skull. So anything is irritated here, we can have symptom of headache because of these irritation of structures. I won't just say nerve. I would say anything goes wrong with the alignment of bone, with the disc, with the nerve. Anything can go wrong and you can have headache. So you can see this picture here. Many arteries are also there. Many nerves are there. C1, C2, C3 are passing, and trigeminal nerve obviously passing is from here. So any problem comes in these structures, we can have these kind of headaches. So this is again the theory of it. Any ligament, any muscles can cause the problem. So trigeminal nucleus, which is receiving afferent from these 3 nerves and trigeminal nerve. So any trauma, strain, theoretically I have written here, see this, the trauma, whiplash injury, strain, chronic neck spasm, people who are sitting for long term, not paying attention, mostly people are having a lot of computer work and attending many meetings. I have seen all upper CEOs and VPs who are sitting for 12 hours, not even moving neck around. Those people have this kind of chronic spasm and also followed by headaches. So let's come on to the structures. Like sir said about these structures, which all structures are involved in our headache or cervicogenic pain, our neck extensor muscles. Then we have deep neck flexors. Then we have neck extensor detailing I have given. So if this happens, what occurs is I'll just show you. So we have superficial accessory muscles which are supposed to help in head flexion, maintaining in head, but they become primary mover and extensors. So when they are taking care of neck motion all the time, so there are many triggers created in them. Whenever they get tired, they become fatigued and oxygenation is less. So one trigger point is formed. When the trigger point is formed, you can see many triggers in those such patients. When you do the palpation, when you ask the patient in the evening, do you have headache? They mostly say yes. When in the evening we get fatigued, we start having headaches. So you have to look for the tightness of these muscles, and these muscles are namely sternocleidomastoid, trapezius, scalene. Again, we'll come to the detailing of it. I'll go a little more. It's like sir said, mentioned how things happen in this area, how muscles work and how they create pain. We discussed briefly about this, but let's go a little more in detail. Sir mentioned, and I would discuss more in detail. Longus colli is a muscle which is located, starts from C1 to T3, and it does forward flexion, rotation, and lateral flexion. So when the patient comes, even with headache, what we are supposed to treat, this will define us. So whenever the muscle is passing from one place to another place, there, if on the insertion or origin insertion, am I visible? So when my connection is broken from here. So whenever one muscle is passing from one place to another place, if this is crossing the joint, then crossing the joint, that is doing the motion. See, here we can see longus colli muscle. So which is passing from C1, C2 to base of the skull. So whenever the neck flexion is happening, that becomes very weak because our accessory muscles are working more. So these muscles stop working. They are mostly synergistic and they give strength to the muscles which are working more. So this longus colli muscle we have to activate. I'll tell you how to uh, correlate it with the treatment and how which all exercises we can do to retrain them. Next comes the longus capitis muscle. This goes from C3 to C6 and it goes to base of occiput. This is a weak flexor, but it does the ipsilateral rotation. This is also mentioned here. If you can see, we have just mentioned superficial flexors. Activity increases more in cervicogenic headache. These three muscles I earlier mentioned, and atrophy of basically suboccipital extensor. So what these muscles, semispinalis capitis, splenius cervicis, rectus capitis, posterior, major and minor. These are the basic muscles which are very, very important for extension of our head. So many times when we treat clinically these patients, what we do, that we do not know the basic palpitation, how they look like, how we palpate. We will go more in detail of these structures, how do we palpate them, and how do we treat them. So you know what happens is rectus capitis is a very small muscle. This does the basic extension. So the most of the load of head comes on this when we are maintaining the posture. So and most of the time we tell the patient to move our head. Whenever we find the cervical spond, we tell the patient to move the extension of our cervical spine, but that happens from C6 to C7. We are never telling patient to do this small motion from here, in which rectus capitis major and minor role comes. So if you know the basic anatomy, you can help the patient in treating headaches. So it looks different that we are treating this and getting result in headache. So obliquus capitis superior and inferior, they do the side flexion also, and they maintaining extension, flexion, and opposite direction they do the eccentric work. So you have to teach the patient. This itself is little defining how to program a treatment session. Splenius capitis and cervicis, semispinalis and capitis, we'll go detail of their functions, so we'll come to know more about them. That is semispinalis capitis. It starts from C4 to C6, T1 to T6. So whenever you are doing extension, this such a major creating a major role, that if this muscle is not working well, then you may have difficulty in maintaining long term posture, and whenever the fatigue is happening, again headache will come. So we have to palpate it, treat it with various modality which are available. If you do not know dry needling, myokinetic, but still you know Maitland and Mulligan, you can definitely move those bones, release them with hand blade. That you can do taping, kinesio taping, and but you will have to look for them. I will teach you the palpation shortly for them. Rectus capitis major, rectus capitis posterior major. It starts from C2 to nuchal line. This is located here. You can see in this picture. So you have to palpate all those muscles, release them, train them, and that's how anatomy of it will help you. So have a look on them. Bigger pictures will give you better idea. So you now I'll show you a bit of palpitation of them. This is a skull here. This is a nuchal line. If it is visible, just योगेश्वरी को बुलाएंगे, मुझे palpate करना है. आशीष, योगेश्वरी को बुलाएंगे. So whenever you are palpating those patients, you have to find out the external protuberance. Make the patient lying down in the prone and check for the first hump. Taking from the head, go to the major hump, go slide to the lateral side. Wherever your hand slides down, that is C1 vertebra. So you see the attachment there. This is most medial is capitis minor, and this is the major muscle which maintains the posture and involve the cervicogenic headache. So you have to release them. If you do not know much of manual technique, just go with your 2 finger. You can give a release technique. You can do MFR over here. Just palpate lateral to it. You go and you find major muscle. So there, when you have rectus posterior, lateral rectus posterior major muscle, this does the flexion also and extension at the same time. So you have to tell the patient to move his head at the same time. With the myofascial kinetic technique, you will release it. Either if you have matrix, you can also use matrix from origin to insertion for the motion, and that's how you can release this muscle. And once you release this muscle, you have to train the deep neck flexors. These are your longus capitis and longus colli. You can see the work, the structures here. Longus capitis is a little smaller muscle, and it is originating from here to base of the skull. So tell the patient to keep the in this position. Mostly when we do the if we do hyperextension, these muscles are not acting. So you have to keep the neck posture properly to do any action. You make the patient sit in comfortably, and then tell the patient to do neck flexion, or the patient is lying down, and tell the patient to put a pillow down and head up again and again. So you can train this muscle. This is in the longest vicinity of the cervical spine, so it's very, very important muscle. So deep flexor we have talked about. We have talked about spinal extensor, and they are detailed. The location you have to specify. The patient is not moving this thorax when he's doing the neck exercises, and he's keeping neck in extension and doing the mild flexion, rotation with flexion. These basic actions he always has to do, and the chin tucking exercises are also for neck extensor. We can go more in detail later on, but now we'll come to the differential diagnosis more in detail. Like whenever you see these sort of patients, they have bad posture. You can see here the patient is doing a lot of hyperextension. So these muscles are very, very weak. This is not supporting from here all the time. Scalene is working. This situation is still better, and this one is a normal posture. I'll just go a little more forward. Now let's come to the differential diagnosis. We were always confused. We always have patients who are eating migraine tablets since 20 years. So we know the basics of cervicogenic headache, that the patient may have neck pain, the patient may have stiff ranges, but how to differentiate? Because many patients are also having migraine patients are also having neck pain, and 1-2 disease also can coexist. So here in the PPT you can see migraine is also happening on one side. It's very confusing, but these patients also have three type of symptoms: pre-dom, aura, and post-dom. Pre-dom mein the patient is always having one trigger point. In that, they can, if there is a highlight, the triggering is happening, and any pins and needle like of sensation he starts having. After, just after that, there is severe headache, and after the headache is happening, there is post-drome, like the patient is having hangover type of symptom. He may have like as if he has drank little time back, and whereas there's no drinking, but still very heavy head, and headache is little less. So these three things you have to take care, and the timing will be different. The patient also can have migraine for a day, and then later on again these symptoms can be for a longer time in a different interval. Whereas a cluster headache, I talked about that. Cluster headaches always happen in a rhythm. Always the patient can have it for 20 minutes, and in this patient also they have pain in eye. Tearing is happening. You can see enlarged pupil and clinically drooped one eye. So you can differentiate migraine. They are always having sensory symptom. In a cluster headache, they have tearing, stuffy nose, eye tearing, then that will be cluster headache. Hypnic headache, here this is a unique type of headache, and this is mostly happening at night. For it happens for 15 to 60 minutes. They, in this, patients do not have stuffy nose or running nose, but the symptoms are very similar, so you have to differentiate. Tension hat band, this is tension headache. This is also primary type of headache. This may be with migraine or without migraine. In here you can have band like tightness over the temple, forehead, and head. So the patient feels a tightness all over. So you have to differentiate from that to above three type of diseases. And if you identify that this is a secondary headache, try to find out the primary cause. If the cervical spond, where is there any trigger, and any other disease. If it is primary headache, you will have to concern with the physician also. And in these basic tension headache, you can definitely, physiotherapy works a lot. Dry needling, any type of matrix release, hand release, MFR, all this helps. Stretchings help, and basic modalities help. But other three of the cyclic problem, you will have to refer it to neurologist or a general physician. See, you can see the presentation how cluster headache looks like. Tension headaches look like a tight head, and migraine looks like this, and it can spread all over, and the patient can be very overwhelming. It is a very throbbing pain, and the patient is never having the hand or neck symptoms. I will teach you the basic examination how cervicogenic headache can be differentiated from migraine and tension type of headache. Here the basic symptoms are written. You can see unilateral without side shift. Migraine mein there is a side shift also, and tension bilateral tight headache type of symptom. Frequency, it's a chronic, and the migraine is also chronic, but this happens 1 to 4 months, not all the time. The cervicogenic headache can be all the time there, and it is not so severe like migraine. And cervicogenic headaches stays for 1 to a week's time, whereas migraine for 4 to 72 hours. And tension type of headache is also very similar, because many of cervicogenic headache patients always have tightness in scalene, trapezius, and sternocleidomastoid. So this cervicogenic headache and tension headache can coexist. So when you find trigger points in those muscle, and you see the weakness of extensors, you can see the weakness of flexors, then you have to find out this is the disease, and we have to treat it. The basic examination is head rotation test, head rotation and lateral flexion. You can make the patient lie down like so this is a webinar, but I'll just make you see one thing. Look, can you just lie down on the bed? I'll just show you an example. How? Just lie down here. Just lie down here. When you receive a patient who is telling that come lie down. I'm having headaches again and again. I'm having lateral rotation pain. Just come lie down here. Can you see? Can you see the model? So make the patient lie down in supine and then lift the head up and rotate it a little bit. If the symptoms are exaggerated, this test is positive, and then you can consider it as a positive test for cervicogenic headache. This is called lateral rotation. This here, and I would like, since now we have a model, I would like to show something else. Please be seated. Just lie down on a prone. I'll teach you tell you a little more about how the palpitation of those muscles, which Manisha Arora sir told. See, this is the base of the spine, and this is the nuchal line. If you have done it before, seen it before, this is the movement. Our hand, we put a hand here, and we find a occiput. We go lateral, there is a nuchal line. Just down to it, we see C1 vertebra, and just lateral to it, we find rectus major muscle. And we go more lateral, here we get a very, very trigger point, that is C2 muscle. So these two basic muscles, which we told the culprit about the headache, are located here. If the lining, you can see here, you can palpate a major muscle which is called rectus major, but above that you have a trapezius lining. So you have to be very careful that just next to the external protuberance, this is a notch here, there's a hump comes, and the lateral side you find a rectus major muscle, and medial to it, which you can't palpate because it's a very, very deep muscle, neck extensor. So you cannot find that muscle, but you can, if you work on, to keep a finger here, work on this muscle, work on this muscle, you will find lot of difference in the headache. Immediately I have seen beautiful results in patients, and then you have to tell the patient to do those basic exercises which we have mentioned: nodding of head, doing the neck pressing, keeping a towel roll down, and neck flexion and cervical extension specifically, because that does 30% of maximum extension of neck. But what we do, we never tell the patient to do basic neck extension. We tell the patient to do motion from here. So we have to make the patient lie down and prone, put a pillow, or tell the patient to put the head down and do the cervical extension. In that also, patient gets a lot of effective exercise. And I think I am done with what I wanted to share with. Any questions, please ask.
Thank you so. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a wonderful and informative webinar. There are some questions by the participants, and I will like to ask it one by one. How we can differentiate between the cervical neuro or cervical trigger cervical pain?
How we can differentiate
between cervical neuro or cervical trigger cervical pain? I think asking the cervical neuro pain and cervical pain caused due to the trigger points.
Due to trigger point. Tell the patient,
yes.
See what now my model has gone, I'll just tell you. First, you know the basic palpitation, you know the scaleni muscle. So whenever you turn the head on one side, here from mandibular attachment, you see the attachment of sternocleidomastoid, and you keep on palpating down the muscle, whole muscle you can catch, and just palpate from down to up, you will find knot in the muscle, that is called trigger point. And for the scalene, you do the same way, palpitation of scalene muscle, trapezius, everybody knows how to palpate trapezius. I think you have to tell the patient to move the neck. You find C1, C6, the most movable bone is here, C6, C7. This is the basic motion of cervical spine is happening from here. From here, go above to C1. This the whole way we have trapezius here. Move the hand, take two fingers from here down. You go. Then you find many knots or triggers in this, but I'll show you what all the major maximum time we see the I'll show you very common sites are there. Just let me go a little behind in my PPT. Can you see my PPT?
Let me. Yes, ma'am. We can see it.
Yeah, I'll show you the very first picture which I had shown, and sir has also shown many pictures there. See, these are the basic sites here next to the mandibular. These are the trigger point. If you go to Google and you just write down trigger point common sites. So this is trigger point itself is a huge topic, and there are classification of trigger point, like trigger points in tendon, trigger points in belly, trigger point secondary trigger point, latent trigger point. So you will have to really be little thorough about trigger point first place. With the muscle you are palpating, try to know the muscle, try to know little anatomy, surface anatomy you will have to know, and after that you have to see for those common points. Just palpate and the patient whistles like anything. He is always wincing. When the moment you keep on the belly of the trapezius, you keep the hand and the patient triggers. So you come to know there are many trigger points. You have to find them, spot them, treat them with ultrasound, dry needling, whichever modalities you are having. But lot of manual therapy helps, like sir said. Like whenever you do any motion and you are putting the hand on the trigger point and tell the patient to do the motion desired, like the extension now. So find out the trigger point, tell the patient to do trigger point the motion, and you keep on releasing. That is activation of the muscle. The same time you are releasing the fascia, keeping hand on that. So you can apply the biokinetic technique over the trigger point and you can definitely release it.
Okay, ma'am. Another question is, does the cervicogenic headache refer to the other parts of the body?
Yes, like I see in itself in the lecture I had mentioned that cervicogenic headache can be with or without the shoulder or hand pain. So if the patient is coming right now not with the active pain, just say many patients come to me saying that only my hand is aching, but sometimes my head also aches. So I take a history asking them how many hours you sit and what is your posture. If you see the posture is also bad, if you see the posture is protruded, like I'll show you, you need to see that how patient's posture look like. Yeah, so here you see the posture is looking like that, and sometimes patient is always complaining pain over. This is a sleeping and very silent pain in shoulder muscles and neck. Sometimes I am having pain on right side or pain on left side. So it is not just referring. Sometimes this symptom is appearing. Sometimes headache is very severe. So you have to correlate. You have to see the X-ray also. So there will be cervical sponge. As I said, this is a secondary headache. So the problem will be always cervical sponge. There may be facetal arthropathy. There may be slip disc. There may be irritation of nerve. And when you see the MRI, you always see there is abruptment of the cervical nerve. Because of that, which patient also may have little tingling, and if the patient is already diagnosed with cervical sponge, you can definitely find out that patient may or may not be having headache is there, tingling is there, pain in hand is there, shoulder pain. Only with the shoulder pain sometimes patients come. So it's not just a refer pain. You have to ask the post a lot of history. You have to try to find out and correlate with your posture.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, does cervicogenic headache can cause the vomiting or nausea type symptoms?
Yes. Yes. I have seen there are BP changes also. It's the basic thing like sir had told one. He had also shown here. I'll also show you in the structures. See what happens is that जब आप सारे वाइटल सेंटर्स मिड ब्रेन में लोकेटेड है एंड पोस्टीरियर जो आपका एरिया है नेक का वहां पर अपना मिड ब्रेन इज आल्सो देयर एंड यू हैव ऑल वाइटल सेंटर्स फॉर वेगस नर्व एंड vomiting center is also located in mid brain. Everybody knows that. So if your vertebrae are not aligned properly and there is severe tension over here, this is the picture if you can see, and I think one more picture. Yeah, this is see there, if there is any misalignment here in chiropractic, we correct those alignment. There are mild rotations here, so whenever these nerves are passing here, if this goes in little anterior translation, patient may have vomiting because midbrain and the dura inside is the relationship is not good, and it is compressing the impulses passing through C1 and the cerebral hemisphere. So whenever there is not there is connection, less connection because of irritation of these structures, patient may feel giddy, vomitish. The moment you release those extensors which I had mentioned here, patient starts feeling better immediately. In one case, we had given lot of laser to that patient. She vomited here. I am telling you now the practical example which I had treated. So the patient, we relieved with the matrix all the rectus, posterior, major and minor. We released that. We released the trapezius tension, and we gave lot of laser. Third sitting, patient started having all the stopped having all the symptom of headache, vomiting, which she was doing here and which got reverted without any medication. That is a practical example which I have treated very many times. For vomiting, yes, that happens.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, most of the participants are asking for the practical, so let me answer them that this is just an introductory, guys. All the participants are informed that this is just an introductory regarding the myokinetic and its application on cervicogenic. Let me tell you one more thing, that this myokinetic is not limited only to the cervicogenic. There are the multiple conditions that are treated by the myokinetic. So this course is basically of the few days containing many CME hours, and it will occur in practically in Pakistan after few months. So don't worry about the practical session.
About that
Yes,
also, because we were planning in Dubai, because many people have restrictions of visas and other border issues. So what we were thinking, the place for Dubai, we are definitely coming out maybe in March or May or June, July, depends on how coronavirus goes. So what we see, I'll tell you what all other example of upper back release, lower back release. You do not have mat blade or matrix. Just we use with the knuckle. We use the myokinetic principle. We tell the desirable muscle to move, and we release it. And sudden release of those muscles are visible. And the same time later on, you can tell the patient to work on those core muscles. So you wanted to see here we were pertaining more towards headache so that we can finish in time, but there is a lot. We in the myokinetic lecture we teach each and every muscle, how it is located, how to be palpating, trigger points as well, how the bones rotate, how we treat it, what all particular motion, like you do rhomboids like this, but there is so much. Minor ka is different, major is different, pectoral is different. So for that you need 1 hour for one muscle. So we cannot take it webinar. Maybe we can take it if the corona situation goes long, but you have to understand each muscle, do the application, we do the correction, we recheck in on the student whether they are doing correctly or not. They should not harm, because it's very painful if you do anything wrong. So when you do it elaborated, you get to know many things. And we do seminar for 2 days, morning 9 to 5, whole workshop goes on, and here we also introduce you with the chiropractic basic stuff. Like I was telling you, alignment. So many times I'm talking about alignment. So the alignment can be either done by Maitland or Mulligan for the person who is not a chiropractor or cannot do the chiropractic workshop right now. But the principle goes with all the joints. You do the little mobilization, release with the myokinetic release technique. So if you are not giving thrust, but still you can get lot of results. But for that, you will have to really be with us, do the workshop.
Okay, definitely, ma'am. Ma'am, a last question that is coming, that most of the patient, let's suppose if I talk about myself, I have treated most of the patient coming with the headache. They also have effects with the help of manipulation, like the cervical manipulation and the thrust effect. So what we can say, how can we differentiate between a cervicogenic headache coming from a muscular, neural, or coming from a bony part?
Yeah, then you really have to work on it. See, Rekho, if you have learned little basic about chiropractic maneuver, you see the leg length test. You make the patient lie down, and you see the difference between the leg. If you see the one leg is little up or down, you see that if the after the pelvic correction, the leg length difference is not going. You check for the cervical spine. You see PRPL. If you have done the basic chiropractic, PRPL, you correct without any MRI, without any test. You see if this is PR move, you come to know. You see the alignment again, and if you are touching on, say, for example, I put my hand on the right side of vertebra. See, I'll show you. See, the patient is lying down like this. So I do the PR, and the patient's leg becomes straight. Then that means the patient has a R bias, and we have to give the adjuster here and correct the bias. Okay, if this is exaggerating the symptom, okay, we correct. See the another side, we check it where we rotate it again. There are rotation, there are tilting. So we correct rotation and tilting. This is how we do. We see the bony alignment. You have asked about how to differentiate the bone part. This is how we have found it chiropractic, how it is boning. And the another part, you see the X-ray. Again, you can see the transverse process, whether they're tilted or rotated, if there are. Okay. And another way, muscle. I have shown you palpation, how to go with the muscle. Where you go from the origin to insertion or vice versa, and you find trigger points. If this is tight, yes, you do the range of motion. If so many patients are not able to do the lateral flexion completely, or either there you can see the difference. Left and right may be very different because it's a say one side of symptom mostly come, but at the same time tension headache also occurs. So you saw the tight band, temple pain. With this, trapezius is tight. These muscles are tight, so you know now this is muscular. And obviously, with the over a period of time, if the patient is telling you 5 years down the line, I'm having headache now, you have to look for bones. You have to look for the basic X-ray. So how many spikes are there? Can you see the posterior spiking, lipping on the joint? If you see all those, you know now bone is affected. You now clinically test it with the leg length test. You have seen the range of motion. I told you one test, the supine lying down, the flexion and rotation test that you have checked. Yesterday only I did one patient. Pure test comes positive. All the symptom of headache increase. So now you know 3 things: how to do bone and TOB, Saint-Rouge test to check for the vestibular artery pain. If after the 1 minute of the motion, if the patient is having, then you can go for the thoracic outlet syndrome. You can rectate that symptom, and you see for the history if meningitis is there or anything, any infection is there or sinusitis is there. You have to check and ask the history very properly. If you want to tell the patient not to take medicine and treat only with chiropractic or physiotherapy way. So I think I have solved your question.
Yeah, ma'am, thank you so much. I hope all the questions are very well cleared. And the last not it's a question, basically it's a information that I tell all the participants. There is a funny question from a participant on my personal She has privately inboxed me basically that can you speak in Urdu? Beta, ma'am can speak Urdu very well. So don't worry regarding it. This was a
मैं
funny
हिंदी
question.
में बात करके दिखा देती हूँ आपको। मुझे बहुत खास हिंदी नहीं आता, उर्दू बहुत खास नहीं आती, बट थोड़ी थोड़ी सी आती है, क्योंकि हिंदी तो इंडिया में बोलते ही है। तो जब आप लेक्चर लेते हैं, आपको कोई डाउट होता है, तो आप हर चीज एक बार हिंदी में पूछिए। हिंदी और उर्दू तो ऑलमोस्ट सेम है, और अगर आप चाहते
ऐसा
हैं
ही है।
कोई लेक्चर हिंदी में हो तो आप मुझे एक अपना क्वेश्चन दीजिए। अच्छा, उसमें भी कैसा है कि हम हर फ्राइडे को, मेरा एक इंस्टाग्राम पे एक पेज है एक्मे फिजियोथेरेपी, तो उसमें हम हर फ्राइडे को एक टॉपिक लेते हैं। अगर आप पाकिस्तान से कोई क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहती हैं और आप ये चाहती हैं कि हम हिंदी में लें, क्योंकि उसमें बहुत सारे पेशेंट भी आते हैं जिनको इंग्लिश नहीं आती है, तो हम क्या करते हैं कि हम उनसे बात करते हैं, आप क्वेश्चन पूछते जाते हैं, हम लाइव आंसर करते जाते हैं। अगर मैं क्लिनिक में हूँ तो मैं डेमो दूंगी आपको पेशेंट्स के ऊपर। आप वो चैनल सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए, एक्मे फिजियोथेरेपी इंस्टाग्राम, और लाइव आइए। फिर फ्राइडे को कुछ भी पूछना है पूछिए। हमेशा लाइव पे तो हम नहीं रह पाते इतना यूट्यूब पे, बट आप हफ्ते दर हफ्ते भी हमसे पूछ सकते हैं।
Okay, ma'am. Actually, recently we did a webinar between the Bangladesh, India, and Pakistan. I was from Pakistan, so they requested me that, sir, can you deliver the lecture in English because there are the multiple participants from different countries. So I just requested. Well, it was very wonderful, ma'am, and participants are very happy. And thanks to sir, and special thanks to you for joining us. And let me remind to all the participants, this is a course that is going to be practical in future, hopefully, and that webinar is also a fruitful, and that practical would be too much fruitful. Thank you so much, and we are waiting for your last words from you, ma'am.
अगर अभी 1-2 महीने में आपके पास बहुत सारे रिक्वेस्ट आते हैं, तो लेट्स डू द प्रैक्टिकल वेबिनार बाय सर। सर बताएंगे एक एक मसल, दैट विल बी पेड। आप वैसे कीजिए, क्योंकि डेमो भी हम करते जाएंगे यहाँ पर। आई एम राइट नाउ इन क्लिनिक, सो वी हैव बेड्स, तो वी विल बी sharing our detail on the models. If you want a webinar on the same topic, we will go more in depth with sir. You can take 5-6 hours workshop also on Zoom. We can definitely go with that. So Dr. Dileep is there, catch him. And thanks Dileep for hosting me here. Hopefully everything went well with your side and I could explain my topic. But still, if you have doubt, if you have lingual doubt, I'm always Insta Live. Be connected to me. All of you can always connect to me on group और ऑन इंस्टा। इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट कि आप पर्सनली सबको पिंग कर पाए, क्योंकि बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट पाकिस्तान से भी मुझसे कनेक्ट होने की कोशिश तो कर रहे हैं, बट इट इज नॉट प्रैक्टिकली पॉसिबल, क्योंकि इंस्टा पे भी बहुत सारे लोग सवाल पूछते हैं। तो आप मुझसे इंस्टा पे पूछिए जब मैं लाइव हो रही हूँ, तब तो मैं आपको बात करके समझा सकती हूँ। और आप मुझे ग्रुप में लिखिए, वेयर डॉक्टर दिलीप ऑल्सो कैन आंसर यू एंड वी कैन होलिस्टिकली हेल्प यू। Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
ma'am.
you for having me.
I also have provided that if anyone wants to contact with the Dr. Aparna can contact me. If you are from Pakistan, can contact me. I can make you connect with the Dr. Aparna. So, ma'am, thank you so much for joining us, and it was a very wonderful and fruitful, informative webinar and presentation from your side. Thank you so much, ma'am. Stay blessed. Thank you so much for joining. And I also will provide the link of the ACME to all of the guys, and they will join you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
ये तो है ही। अरे is this gone?
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Aparna is going to. I think she has to say something, and she is coming within few. Dr. Neha is here. Dr. Neha, beta, आवाज आ रही है आपको?
Yes, sir.
All the participants, let me introduce Dr. Neha is here. She is a CMT ambassador from Jacobabad chapter, and जितना भी ये webinar जो organize हुआ था from Pakistan, इनकी और इनकी team ने member जो है वो पूरा organize किया था. So Dr. Neha, introduce your members. Just enlist their names.
Yes, sir. Sir, Assalamualaikum everyone. I am from Jacobabad chapter, and I am the member of Jacobabad chapter, and my other members are Hajra Kawal, Rupali Mathan, Chandra Imdad, Elsa Ali. These are my members from Jacobabad chapter, and we are studying in South City Institute of Physical Therapy, Karachi.
Thank you, Neha. Dr. Aparna is here.
Yes, बोलिए.
जी मैम. Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
You want to say something? I could not listen.
I just wanted to say that I just wanted to say that I have provided your link, ACME link, in the groups that we created on the WhatsApp. So if anyone want to connect with you, they can easily contact with you. That's what I wanted to say.
But I just have one request. Rather than pinging me one on asking so many questions on the same topic in different windows, rather than ask a social question for which one answer I write down and it is found to everyone and everybody can read, and we can come with a solution for everyone. So please ask me in the group or Insta.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks for joining us again.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Good noon.
Yes.
Good noon. Bye, ma'am. Bye. जी डॉक्टर नेहा.
Yes, sir.
जी तो थैंक्स टू डॉक्टर नेहा आल्सो. उन्होंने जो है ये सारा वेबिनार ऑर्गेनाइज किया, एंड ऑल माय पार्टिसिपेंट दैट आर रिक्वेस्टिंग मी आर प्राइवेटली मैसेजिंग मी. आई लेट मी टेल यू, ये वेबिनार हम प्रैक्टिकली कोर्स करवाएंगे. ये एक पार्ट था, जस्ट ये एक इंट्रोडक्टरी वेबिनार था. हम इसको प्रैक्टिकल करवाएंगे पाकिस्तान में. और डॉक्टर अपर्णा से, ACME से जिसने भी कांटेक्ट करना है, आप हम मुझसे कांटेक्ट कर सकते हो. अगर आप पाकिस्तान से हो तो मुझसे कांटेक्ट कर सकते हो. सेंटर ऑफ मैनुअल थेरेपी जो यूट्यूब चैनल है, फेसबुक, आप उनको ज्वाइन करें. आप वहां से कोई भी आपका क्वेश्चन हो वहां से आप पूछ सकते हो. अगर डॉक्टर अपर्णा से कांटेक्ट करना है तो यू कैन कांटेक्ट मी इफ यू आर फ्रॉम पाकिस्तान. आई विल हेल्प यू टू मेक यू कनेक्ट विद डॉक्टर अपर्णा एंड ACME and Dr. Manish Arora. Let me remind you one more thing, that this course, Myokinetic Chain, its application, they are going to be practically in a seminar form in Pakistan within few months. Hopefully, let's this lockdown be over and we will do it practically in future. So keep watching and sharing Center of Manual Therapy. और इस वेबिनार का क्रेडिट जो है वो CMT चैप्टर जैकबाबाद को जाता है, जिन्होंने जो है वो ये अच्छी सी मैनेजमेंट की. अब हम जो है वो डॉक्टर नेहा को सुनेंगे और उनके मेंबर्स को जो है वो थैंक्स कहेंगे. डॉक्टर नेहा, कैन यू रिपीट द नेम्स ऑफ द मेंबर्स? वी कुडंट हियर यू दैट टाइम.
Yes, sir. Yes, member Isha Ijlal is also from
Ji.
Karachi, and the other is Chandra Imdad, also from Karachi. Hajra Kawal, she is from Kashmir. Rupali Mandhan, she is from Delhi. Elsa Ali, she is also from Karachi, and I am from
Okay.
Jacobabad.
Okay, thank you so much, Neha. Now you can leave. She was the Neha, and she was from CMT Jacobabad chapter, and they organized this webinar. And as you know, I am Dr. Dilip Kumar, President, CMT Center of Manual Therapy. Kindly like this video, and this webinar will be uploaded right after from the CMT Center of Manual Therapy YouTube channel right after a few days. We conduct the webinars weekly. You can join us. If you are an international, like from any other country, you can join our WhatsApp group and you will be updated for all the weekly webinars coming from the CMT. If you are from Pakistan, you know very well what the CMT and Center of Manual Therapy is doing. Center of Manual Therapy का Facebook का page भी है. We also have a YouTube channel. So subscribe the YouTube channel, press the bell icon, and join our CMT Facebook group and Facebook page, so that you will be updated for all upcoming webinars and activities by CMT. So it's time to over this webinar. And lastly, I would like to say this is just an introductory webinar on myokinetic chain, its application on cervicogenic headache. This course is going to be practically done in future in Pakistan. So all of you are interested can join Center of Manual Therapy and can contact me for more information. मेरा YouTube का चैनल, आप वहां पे भी मुझे इनबॉक्स कर सकते हैं. सेंटर ऑफ मैनुअल थेरेपी के Facebook पेज पे भी कांटेक्ट कर सकते हो. एंड इफ यू वांट टू कांटेक्ट डायरेक्टली ऑन WhatsApp, then you need to join the CMT WhatsApp group. Thank you so much. And any sort of the question, if you want to ask regarding the myokinetic chain, you can directly directly comment here and can directly contact on CMT Facebook and CMT YouTube channel. And please put your feedback also not only in comment box, but also put your feedback in the Centro Manual Therapy Facebook page. So keep watching and keep sharing Centro Manual Therapy. Stay home, stay safe, take care. Allah Hafiz, namaste, bye bye.